Since 1955, from California to New York, Canada to Mexico, you've seen them gliding along North America's railroads, the signature yellow cars of the TTX company, carrying containers, trailers, automobiles, lumber, steel, paper, and a long list of other goods and raw materials that consumers and companies rely on every day. With over 165,000 railcars, TTX is one of North America's largest railcar fleets. But TTX is not a railroad, and we're not a railcar leasing company. What is TTX? We are a critical part of North America's transportation infrastructure. We are a railcar pooling company. Pooling railcars means that railroads share railcars. They don't have to waste resources switching out and returning empty railcars. Owned by 9 of North America's leading railroads, the TTX railcar fleet is shared by the pool owners and all short line and regional railroads. TTX's shared pool provides 3 main benefits. 1. Capital avoidance. We buy and maintain the railcars so the railroads don't have to. 2. Less cost. Pooled cars handle more loads with fewer railcars. Our fleet saves railroads $250 million in operational costs each year. 3. Shared risk. TTX's investments serve shippers' needs across the network regardless of how those needs shift. Each railroad can use the pooled cars as if they were their own, which means they always have access to the cars they need to move their customers' freight. The Interstate Commerce Commission, now the Surface Transportation Board, or STB, recognized the efficiencies of railcar pooling. Over 40 years ago, they found that the TTX pool would lower costs and provide for even faster growth of the highly efficient and green rail network. It has since reauthorized TTX's authority 4 additional times. Flexible, nimble, cost-efficient solutions for North American shippers. That's the advantage of railcar pooling with TTX. Our mission hasn't changed. We help railroads meet their customers' needs by providing well-maintained railcars in an efficient, pooled environment. We size the fleet to make sure railroads can keep ahead of their customers' growing demand for rail traffic. And over the past 5 years alone, we have invested $3.5 billion in additional railcars. But we don't just own the cars, we maintain them too. TTX has a complete engineering and design team to care for the expansive fleet with maintenance operations in terminals across the network. Keeping a fleet shared by different railroads in safe, operable condition requires a major commitment and investment. At TTX, we spent over $600 million last year on railcar maintenance alone. That's an investment we're happy and uniquely positioned to make because we're not here to maximize profits. We're here to maximize efficiency for railroads and their customers. Our railcar fleet is concentrated in 3 key car types: flat cars, box cars, and gondolas. We have over 30,000 boxcars and gondolas, but flat cars are by far the largest part of the TTX fleet, over 135,000 of them. Some of our flat cars carry raw materials, such as lumber and steel. Others are workhorses for the automotive industry, where they carried over 13 million vehicles last year. The largest part of our fleet is dedicated to intermodal shipping, where freight moves between transportation modes. Domestic containers on rail relieves highway congestion. Each intermodal train takes 280 trucks off the highway. International containers come off ships to be moved on the most efficient land transportation system, the North American Railroad Network. The TTX intermodal fleet carried an estimated 13 million intermodal shipments across the U.S., Canada, and Mexico last year. Reducing the capital burden for railroads, lowering operating costs, and reducing the industry's risk is what railcar pooling is about. At TTX, we've been pooling railcars for over 60 years. Our right-sized, low-cost, reliable fleet of over 165,000 railcars serves North America's railroads and the world's freight needs. We are TTX, railcar pooling experts.